Hello everyone, I'm Paul McGuire Grimes. It's been a really fantastic year at the movies. I've seen some really phenomenal movies in the theater and at home that are streaming, and I've had some really fun interviews. My first in-person junket happened this year since 2020 for Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam, and most importantly, I became a father this year. So my movie going was a little bit up and down this year compared to last year. My daughter's upstairs sleeping right now. I got the monitor ready to go in case she wakes up from her nap. But in the meantime, in between time, let's take a look at my top 10 movies of 2022. This is Paul's trip to the movies. Coming in at number 10 is The Woman King. Director Gina Prince Bythewood knocked it out of the ballpark with this epic true story of a group of warrior women in Africa. Her top-notch cast all came to deliver, with Viola Davis proving yet again that she is a force to be reckoned with. But leave it up to young Tusa Mbedu to challenge her every step of the way. You have to go see The Woman King. You can watch it at home right now. And coming in at number 9 is Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. This is the latest murder mystery from writer-director Rian Johnson, featuring his detective Benoit Blanc, played by Daniel Craig, who is back on the scene, but this time in Greece with a bunch of selfish, opportunistic rich people at the height of the pandemic. It is entertaining from top to bottom, with every twist, every shake-up that he throws at the audience that will certainly keep you guessing. And again, a fantastic ensemble, all delivering. Janelle Monáe, Kate Hudson, Leslie Odom Jr., Dave Bautista, Edward Norton, just to name a few. It's now streaming on Netflix. Coming in at number 8 is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, one of the funniest movies I've seen all year, thanks to Nicolas Cage's gonzo performance, fully leaning in and mocking his very own reputation and career. This movie was part self-parody, I think, part buddy comedy action flick, as Cage actually teams up with Pedro Pascal, and it was just great to see both of them really unhinged, honoring all the great Nicolas Cage movies like The Rock, Con Air, Adaptation, and even Guarding Tess, just to name a few. Such a surprise hit this year. Coming in at number 7 is The Banshees of Inisherin. Now, I think that Colin Farrell may be just one of the most underrated actors working in Hollywood. He cranked out a few movies this year. He got another one coming up on this list. But The Banshees of Inisherin delivered one of his most heartbreaking performances of his career. Writer-director Martin McDonagh explores male friendships and what happens when they dissolve with an extremely bleak approach that he takes. Now, it may sound simple, but McDonagh never makes it easy on his audience. Farrell's co-stars Brendan Gleeson, Carrie Condon, and Barry Keoghan all deliver terrific performances. I highly recommend it. It's in theaters and streaming on HBO Max. Coming in at number 6 with some familiar names is The Batman. Now, I knew I should have trusted Matt Reeves when they said that he was going to be making a Batman movie. He did such great things with Planet of the Apes, but it just seemed so soon after both Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan had brought Batman to the big screen. But Reeves took a whole new approach by making his version of Batman this hardened detective film noir, with Robert Pattinson donning the cape and cowl. Yes, it was 3 hours, but it was riveting every step of the way. And Paul Dano was terrifying as the Riddler, really modeling him after the Zodiac Killer. And you can't discuss The Batman without mentioning Michael Giacchino's masterful score that really, in my opinion, should have won Best Score at the Oscars yet this year, and yet did not make the shortlist. I don't understand. The Batman, now streaming HBO Max. You can get it on Blu-ray, DVD, 4K. Highly recommend. Coming in at number 5 is Till. Director Chinonye Chukwu and writer Keith Beauchamp spent years bringing Emmett Till's story to the big screen. And this film is a staggering reminder of the tragedy of Till's murder is still relevant and is still happening today. Their approach was to tell it through the lens of Emmett Till's mother, Mamie Till. And Danielle Deadwyler's performance is nothing short of awe-inspiring, as she leaves nothing on the floor, really ripping every emotion out of the audience. Chukwu uses quite a bit of restraint, I think, really letting the truth speak for itself, as she shies away from making this your standard courtroom drama. I mean, if you are not in tears, kicked in the gut afterwards, I don't know what you are thinking. Till, now available to watch at home, highly recommend. Coming in at number 4 is Women Talking. Now, much like Till, writer-director Sarah Polley takes a less is more approach around a film that centers around a group of Mennonite women who must decide whether they will leave their colony to save their life and risk the wrath of God, or stay with their men and continue to suffer further abuse and rape. There's no weak link in this cast, with Rooney Mara, Jessie Buckley, Claire Foy, Sheila McCarthy, and Ben Whishaw all turning in excellent performances. I mean, these women are forced to vote on whether they should stay, fight, or leave, and the discourse that follows will certainly stick with you. Coming in at number 3 is Top Gun Maverick. This very well could be the best legacy reboot sequel that we have ever seen so far, that really not only hit those nostalgic moments, but really elevated filmmaking to a new heights, and I mean literally. Tom Cruise pulled out all the stops, knowing precisely what his audience wanted out of this film. It was a roller coaster ride that felt like it put you right in the cockpit thanks to its visual effects, its practical stunts, and cinematography. I was blown away by the technical accomplishments. And then as the Lady Gaga theme Hold My Hand played over the credits, I realized how emotionally drained I was, as this was a story about fathers and sons, friendships, and the legacy that we want to leave for the next generation. This movie defined why we go to the movie theater, and the box office receipts really showed it, during a time when most people are sitting at home streaming or watching movies in some other way. I will never forget seeing Top Gun Maverick. It's one of the best movie-going experiences that I've had all year. Coming in at number 2 is The Fabelmans. Now, just when you think you've seen it all from Oscar-winning filmmaker Steven Spielberg, he turns the camera on his childhood and delivers another crowning achievement in his career. The Fabelmans is a semi-autobiographical look back at how Spielberg turned to the movies to really cope with his parents' eventual divorce and all the anti-Semitism that he faced growing up. You can feel all of the heart and soul that he poured into this movie, as Michelle Williams just lights up the screen. You have Judd Hirsch and David Lynch delivering fantastic, memorable, one-scene cameos, and a young Gabriel Labelle is a young star on the rise. And then you have Paul Dano doing a complete 180 from his work in The Batman. Coming in at number 1, if you haven't already figured out, is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, also known as the Daniels, made this the most daring, fascinating, mind-boggling film I saw all year. And Michelle Yeoh gives the performance of her career, thanks to our character Evelyn, who is re-examining her life choices thanks to a multiverse that she finds herself in. And that is just the very tip of the iceberg of what the Daniels have in store for Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's wildly unpredictable and beautiful around every corner. They remind the audience that there's always something to love in life if you just take a moment to look for it amongst all the chaos. Again, another top-notch ensemble with Jamie Lee Curtis, James Hong, Stephanie Sue, and Ke Kwan with a phenomenal career comeback. I would love to see this wholly original film really dominate at the Oscars. I think it totally deserves it. So those, again, are my top 10. We've got number 10, The Woman King. Number 9, Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Number 8, The Unbearable Weight, a massive talent. Number 7, The Banshees of Inisherin. Number 6, The Batman. Number 5, Till. Number 4, Women Talking. Number 3, Top Gun Maverick. Number 2, The Fabelmans. And coming in at number 1 is Everything Everywhere All at Once. I want to do some honorable mentions, of course. You've got Ty West fun horror double feature X and Pearl. You've got Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, so beautiful. I was blown away with what he did with Pinocchio. And of course, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Again, some of my favorite movies from this year. I'd love to hear from you. What have been the movies that really blew you away? Were there some performances that really sat with you? I'd love to hear from you in the comments on YouTube. Click subscribe, leave me a comment with your favorites. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Paul's Movie Trip. And then go to my website, paulstripsmovies.com, for more reviews of these, as well as some fun interviews I've done over the past year with, of course, the cast of Top Gun Maverick, Till, some more. I've got some great ones coming up next year with Christian Bale and Jason Segel and more. Thank you so much for watching my top 10 movies of 2022. This is Paul's Trip to the Movies.